हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss the Sloka 4.12, chapter 14, verse 12 in the Gita. So I will be reading the Sloka and we will then read the translation and purport and then we will discuss. कांक्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा। कांक्षन्तः desiring कर्मणां of fruitive activities siddhim perfection yajante they worship by sacrifices iha in the material world devataha the demigods क्षिप्रं very quickly he certainly manushe in human society loke within this world siddhi he success bhavati comes karmaja fruit from fruitive work. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. There is a great misconception about the gods or demigods of this material world, and men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigods are not forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one and the parts and parcels are many. The Vedas say Nityo Nityanam, God is one. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha, the Supreme God is one, Krishna, and the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme Lord, Narayana, Vishnu or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or a Pashandi. Even great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Virinchi Nutam. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by the foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism and zoomorphism. Iha Devataha means Iha Devataha denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. But Narayana, Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental to the material creation. Even Sripada Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayana or Krishna is beyond this material creation. However, foolish people, Hritagnyana, worship the demigods because they want immediate results, but do not know that the results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. The intelligent person is in Krishna consciousness and he has no need to worship the paltry demigods for some immediate temporary benefit. The demigods of this material world as well as their worshippers will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. The bones of the demigods are material and temporary. Both the material worlds and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as the material opulence of possessing land, family and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, people worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are kowtowing to the so-called leaders or big guns in order to achieve temporary boons, and yet they indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardships of material existence. They are all after sense enjoyment, and to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worshipping empowered living entities known as the demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. So here again Prabhupada is stressing on the concept of demigod worship, that why should demigods not be worshipped, because he says that men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods, because people desire success in their fruitive activities, that I want this, I have done this particular activity, so I should get this result, etc., etc. And this is the reason why they worship the demigods for some temporary insignificant benefits. So these results, they come quickly, but advancement in Krishna consciousness, it takes time to come, because the heart needs to be cleansed in that process. So everybody wants to worship the absolute truth, and everybody want to know about him in many ways, and thus they worship the demigods. Especially even in the Hindu tradition, we have so many demigods. Actually the number of demigods are 330 million demigods are there. So that much big number is there. So the demigod worship is recommended in the Vedas for different kinds of people who want different kinds of results. So Vedas have three kandas, which are karma, jnana and upasana. So Vedas, this is the reason why Vedas are three: karma, jnana and upasana kanda. So all these have the demigod worship involved in some way or other, and we have to speculate and understand, etc., in these kandas. These kandas cannot lead to liberation, and we have to rise above these kandas. So but women, shudras, dvija bandhus, etc., they cannot understand this particular thing, because these people have been declared to be less intelligent by the scriptures. Now who are the women and shudras? It is understandable, but who are the dvija bandhus? So dvija means twice born, and bandhus means their relative. So these are the fallen people of the higher caste, which means that they are either a fallen Kshatriya or a fallen Brahmana. So for example, Ashwathama was a Dvija Bandhu. He was the son of Dronacharya, who was a Brahmana, and he ended up killing 5 sons of Draupadi in the camp while they were sleeping. So thus he is a Dvija Bandhu. He is just a part of the caste in the name only. Otherwise he is actually like the lowest of the creatures by his character, because he killed sleeping boys when they are sleeping peacefully in the camp. So in Kali this is always going on. People in Kali Yuga, they want to be Brahmanas or Kshatriyas without qualification, which is not possible, because if you want to be Brahmana, then you have to give other people knowledge, other people meaning specifically Kshatriya, how to manage the affairs of the kingdom so that everybody can be benefited. So even Kshatriyas also need to protect the people. So we need proper Kshatriyas, and the people who are born in this caste but they don't fulfill their duties and they are part of that caste in the name only, such people are called Dvija Bandhus. So now what are the qualities of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras? That is given in Bhagavad-Gita 18.42 to 44. Herein it is said that Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudranam cha Parantapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi, that Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own nature in accordance with the material modes, O chastiser of the enemy. So that was 41 that we read. Now 42 is Shamodamas Shaucham Shanti Rarjavam Evacha Jnanam Vijnanamastikyam Brahma Karmasvabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. शौर्यं तेजो धृतिर्दाक्ष्यं युद्धे चाप्यपलायनं दानमीश्वरभावश्च क्षात्रं कर्मस्वभावजम्. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. कृषिगौरक्ष्य वाणिज्यं वैश्य कर्मस्वभावजं परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्. Farming, cow protection and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas, and for the Shudras there are labor and service to others. So these are the works, these are the duties of the people of the different castes. Now Shudras are people who are just like dogs, because they are just happy with the master. So now coming to the main point, that for success in fruitive activities only people are worshipping demigods. Actually the point is that demigods are all living entities only. They are not the Supreme Lord. If we see that Mahavishnu, who is a Gunavatara of the Supreme Lord, he's actually a Purushavatara. Mahavishnu is a Purushavatara of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So when Mahavishnu inhales or exhales, at that time thousands and millions of Brahmandas come into existence, and each of these Brahmandas has one Brahma, and each of those Brahmandas also has demigods, which are 330 million in number, each Brahmanda, so that it can manage they can manage the affairs of that Brahmanda. So we are just in one Brahmanda out of innumerable, and the demigods are living entities just like us, but it is just that they have done some pious activities upon which they have gone to the higher abodes, and they are enjoying with much better facilities than us here. But actually in 15.7 it is said, Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhutas sanatanaha manashashthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati, that everybody is the eternal fragmental part of the Supreme Lord, and manashashthani indriyani, they are struggling with the six senses which include the mind, and karshati, they are just struggling. So they are just fortunate to get the post of demigods, because they have done some pious activities upon which they are just enjoying. So there is one reference to Bhagavad-Gita 9.24 that sorry, it's not 9.24, it is 9.23, where it is said that Yepyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhi purvakam, that those who are devotees of the other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. So this is something which is declared by the Supreme Lord himself, that demigod worship is not very much encouraged in the spiritual circles. But so demigod worship actually brings fruits very quickly. This we have been discussing since the starting. So demigods worship brings fruit very quickly, and so again it is said that men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planet of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. This is what Krishna is saying again. Only less intelligent people worship the demigods. This is Bhagavad-Gita 7.23. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpam ethasam devan devaya joyanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. So The devotees of the demigods, they are actually not the devotees. Devotees is used only when it is in connection to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, the word devotee cannot be used in the context of any other demigod. And demigod worshippers, they have some material desires, that some people come because they want riches, some people come because they want a good spouse, some people come because they want a good knowledge, and they want more marks probably. Some people come because they want to be more good looking. Some people come because of many reasons. So endless reasons are there, endless reasons. So, but people who are devotees, they don't want any reward from the Lord. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvai. So, Lord Chaitanya is specifically saying to everything, na dhanam, no money, no na janam, no followers, na sundarim, no beautiful women. I don't want any number of followers, any amount of money, any number of beautiful women. I just want your devotional service birth after birth. They don't want any reward from the Lord, the devotees. So, Shikshashtakam verse 4 again, this is the prayer of an actual devotee. And only people who are in karma kanda, they are attracted by the demigod worship. We have a choice actually, whether we want to be attracted by the demigod worship, or which gives temporary benefit and which gives permanent benefit, Krishna's worship. Do we want to get attracted by demigod worship or by Krishna's worship? This is a thing that we have to think about. Now, temporary benefit is happiness first and sadness later. This is actually related to one of the verses. Yes, that Vishayendriya samyogad yattadagre mrutopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukham raja samsmritam. This is text number 38 of chapter 18 in the Gita. That here this is the temporary benefit, and this is rajasam. This is in the mode of passion. People who worship the demigods are in the mode of passion only because they are desirous of material positions. So that happiness which is derived from contact of the senses and their objects, which appears like nectar first but poison at the end, is said to be the nature of passion. So Shreyas means long-term benefit. This is in Sattva Guna. We are thinking of long-term benefit. And Prayas means short-term benefit, Rajasic. Because I want benefit now, later I may get poison, no problem. So again, in Shreyas, people worship the Lord and they go back to Godhead. They are on the path of going back to Godhead. But Prayas minded people worship the demigods like Durga, and they remain here only. And we should become actually Bhakta Yogi, not a Jnana Yogi or a Karma Yogi. Because Bhakta Yogi is the topmost of all the yogis. And 18.55 is again another verse which can be referred to here in this connection, that Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is full in consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So, yes, this is another thing that needs to be referred to, that only when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotional service, only then he can enter into the kingdom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for which we should become a Bhakta Yogi. And we should just dedicate everything to the service of the Supreme Lord, whatever we earn. These people who worship the demigods, they have no idea of what they want to do with the temporary material benefits that they are attaining. But we want to dedicate everything for the Supreme Lord. We just want to make Krishna consciousness the center of our life. Then sincerity will attract the Supreme Lord, and then he can give us some taste to progress. So we should hear, then only our life can become a success, because we should always hear, then we can endeavor to make advancement. Otherwise, when we hear, then we speak about the Lord. So hearing, one day it will happen that you will become a excellent preacher. So it will just come naturally. The heart is just cleansed by hearing completely. Cheto darpana marjanam, we are just cleansing the fire of conditional, extinguishing the fire of conditional life, cleansing the mirror of Cheto darpana marjanam bahadavagni nirvapanam. This is the perfection of life, and this cannot be attained by worshipping demigods. That is the main point which is here. So at the end, demigods also should not be derided, because they are the representatives of the Supreme Lord. They are 330 million in number. They are there in each Brahmanda, and they manage the affairs of that particular Brahmanda. But the point is that even though demigod worship is recommended in the Vedas, it is recommended for people who are in Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda or Upasana Kanda. And hence since we are on the process of devotional service, should be worshipping the Supreme Lord only, because demigods also go to the Supreme Lord only for help when they are harassed by demons like Hiranyakashipu. So when we are worshipping the demigods, why can't we go and worship the Supreme Lord? Because demigods are also going to the Supreme Lord only. So at the end of the day, demigods are also very respectable, great personalities. But we should mainly try to worship Krishna, and we should offer respects to all the other demigods also, because they are the bona fide devotees of the Supreme Lord. But our main aim should be that we should go back to Godhead and serve Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should not serve these demigods who are also living entities like us, but it is just that they have gone into the higher planets, and they are enjoying it with a much better facility there. So so we should not worship the demigods and waste our time by staying here in this material world, because these results are temporary and not permanent. We should worship Krishna and make our life successful. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Jai Srila Prabhupada.